So young people sometimes sow the white oats during the process of their development. And a number of factors can be um, observed to be responsible for this. First, I would outline a few of them that I can readily come up with. The first is to understand that when children are transiting from the stages, from the stage of being children totally dependent on their parent to adulthood when they are fully independent, that stage, usually the teenager, the teens period, and the young adult stage of their life, is a period of time when they are trying to develop personal beliefs and principles. And now, in spite of what the parents have taught them, have exposed them to, these are individuals that must have their own personal beliefs and principles. So sometimes, in trying to test the beliefs that their parent has put forward, they make some choices that may not go along with those beliefs and principles. And that is one of those things that could be responsible. So it's a stage of developing personal beliefs and principles. So sometimes they make wrong choices at that time. Another reason is that it is a period of experimentation and adventure. Young people have a lot of energy from childhood. Now they are becoming independent, and so they try to experiment. Some of these experimentations and adventure are actually very bad choices, and many of them have negative consequences. But sometimes they don't do it. We all have been there. They don't do it because they want to hurt the parent, but just simply because it's a stage where they want to assert themselves. They want to know things for themselves. So that stage of experimentation and adventure is one other factor that can be responsible for making bad choices. The other thing is we need to realize that young people are humans too. They are not perfect. No matter how much we want them to do things always right, they are not perfect. And so they will make mistakes. It's part and parcel of life. Another reason is the influence of peer pressure. Now, young people are highly impressionable people. They want to belong. And because of that, this closely relates with the next point, which is differences in their personalities and temperament. There are some personalities and temperament that can easily be swayed along by peer pressure. And so peer pressure is one. They want to belong. They want to be accepted by their peers and their friends. So they do things that their friends and their colleagues like. And also, the last thing is that at that stage of their lives, a lot of young, good kids do not have the skills required to make choices. So they lack choice-making skills. They take decision actions based on their feelings and not on objective reasoning. They say that there are two parts of us, the reasoning self and then the feeling self. So that thinking self is yet to be developed to see things in totality. So wrong choices many times at that stage is a product of lack of choice-making skills. And these are some of the reasons why young people do make bad choices. They are good people, they are good children, but they still make bad choices all the same.
Wow. Okay, and he's going to tell us now the way out. What's the solution at the end of the day? If you have a child, you have not you right now, but I've seen these things happen a whole lot. You have a child that you have been doing everything to bring up in the way of God, in the fear of God, teaching them morals, but somehow they just have this group of friends that they like to hang out with that you don't like. And you have told this child severally, you don't like this group of friends, you don't like them. And they keep just getting into trouble, including your son, because your son happens to be a part of them. Sometimes they could even go do something, your son might not be a part of it, but because he was there, he would get into trouble, and then trouble just comes to your house. Okay? Maybe this same child that you have done everything to bring up well is the only reason you have been to the police station severally, and it's just overwhelming. These are some of the issues sometimes that parents have to deal with. Maybe you don't even smoke. Your husband doesn't smoke. You, the mother, you don't smoke, but your child is smoking. Maybe he's now a young adult, say 18, 19, and you don't understand where he's picking up these habits from, irrespective of all that you have done. And you're trying to talk to him or talk to her, and it's a bit difficult. I mean, how do you drive it home? How do you, at the end of the day, get the desired results that you want for your children? Because they are your children, and you want the best for them. Every parent wants the best for their children. Well, let's listen to what my guest also has to say concerning the solution to this situation, what to do about it.
So, the child has made the wrong choice, and there's a good child all along. But the truth is, the child has made the wrong choice all the same. And it's not a good place for a parent to be. It's a tough place. It's really, really a tough place to be. And as a parent, it's something that we must know and be ready for. Adequate preparation, they say, prevent poor performance. If we want our children to be real, to be real people around us, we must be prepared for possible mistakes that they are going to make. So when such happens, what do we do as parents? What should we do? And as much as we are feeling pain, and much as our emotions are running wide, and we are going through turmoil in our hearts as parents, what do we do? I think it would be good for us to take a step back and see things for what they are. Now, we can allow emotions to becloud our judgment without looking at the realities on ground. So we need to learn to take a step back, try to separate our emotions from the facts. These are young people. As good as they are, good people make wrong choices, and bad people actually also make good choices. So take a step back and look at things for what they really are. Separate your emotions from the facts on ground. Another mistake that we make as parents is to beat ourselves up, blame ourselves for the choices of our
children,
of our words.
Okay.
Now that is not totally healthy. If you have taught the child properly, you should realize that the child is a person and he has his own or our own ideologies, our own principles, our own personality. So we need to learn not to beat ourselves up as parents. Yes, the child has made a wrong choice, but that is not a conclusion, or that's not to say that you are a failure as a parent. So don't beat yourself up. Then one of the other things we need to do is to allow the child go through the consequences of their actions. Now, some of these experiences are the things that reinforces what you have taught the child. We need to allow the children to go through the consequences of their action and not just become a mother hen to come and save them. If we don't allow them to go through those consequences, we are perpetrating that wrong choice. One other thing as parents we should learn is to allow for discipline and not punishment. Punishment is taken out of emotions because we want to inflict pain on the person who has done something that has hurt us. But discipline is to correct behavior. So, and discipline is part and parcel of genuine love. So as parents, we must allow our children to go through discipline when they make wrong choices. The consequences of their actions will help them to understand the pros and the cons of their choices and learn from it to be able to make right choices in the future. Lastly, I will say that as parents, even when our children make wrong choices, it is our responsibilities and duty to support them through the process. They're going to make mistakes, they're going to learn, they're going to hurt, but as parents, we should support them through the process. That way they will know there is love from the parent, there is understanding from the parent. They know they can depend and rely on the love of their parent even at the difficult times of their lives, and that will help them to learn the lesson and be able to go through it effectively.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That was really insightful, and I really want to say many thanks to my guests on the show this morning, my resource person on the show this morning, Dr. Ajadi. And of course, this is Super FM 93.3. If you're just joining us, you're very welcome. You just listening to Dr. Ajadi, a married relationship and family counselor, okay, talk about how to handle the situation when good kids make bad choices. When good kids make bad decisions. Sometimes these kids are even watching pornography online. Okay, you give a child a phone for good reasons, and you have always tried to make sure that you protect them from certain contents online. But somehow you just stumbled into your child's room and found out, not you right now, but come on, these things happen. But you find out that this child is viewing pornography online. Who showed them? Why are they there? What are they doing? Going to view something like that. Or you walk into, I know of a parent who walked into his it was the mother who discovered that in her son's room, and he was a young adult then, say, was he 17? Still a teenager. He was still a teenager anyway. I think it was about between 17 and 19, all right? 17, you're not yet an adult. From 18, a person officially becomes an adult. But it was just between that, 17, 18, thereabout. And she found condoms in his room. She found CDs in his room, and she was torn. She wasn't sure how to react to this situation. But what she did was to take what she had seen. Let me call them the exhibits. She took them, to her own room. Told her husband when he got back from work, look at what I found in our son's room. Well, they knew they had to have a discussion with their son. They just knew that one was not a shouting matter, Sometimes maybe there are things you discover and you need to shout, you need to raise your voice. Sometimes maybe you need to scold the child. Sometimes you need to sit that child down and talk about it. And sometimes it's quite heartbreaking, and it's difficult for a lot of parents to accept the fact that their kids are growing. I think, sometimes that's where this whole thing comes from. The kids are growing, and they're humans, like my guest, this morning has said on the show. They will start trying to make decisions for themselves without asking you, because they're not babies anymore. And it's one of the terrifying stages, of raising a child. From the teenage period, where they are more likely to start, becoming a bit independent, staying away from you, needing privacy, You don't know what's going on in their private times. They're not coming to you every now and then to ask you for, to ask questions or directions or clarity on something. They want to make their own decisions. They want to make their own choices. And in a lot of cases, sometimes children make bad choices. So I'm asking this morning anyway, when good kids, I'm saying good kids because meanwhile, is there really a bad kid? Everybody would say their child is a good kid. But when you have done everything you're supposed to do according to the word of God, even if you're not a Christian, according to who you believe in, okay? And you have done everything you're supposed to do, you feel like these kids are supposed to be morally right because you have instilled all the values. You teach them how to pray. You do this, you do that. You have your curfew at home, when you get home, when you can go out and when you can come in, and you think you have all of this put in place, but they still sneak out and go to the club at night, and you find out. So when good kids, supposedly good kids, make bad choices, what do you think it's the reason? Why do good kids make bad choices or bad decisions? And what can be done? I'd like to get your own take on this as we talk together, as we talk about this together, all right? As we talk about it together, I'd like to get your own take on this. You can either send me a message on WhatsApp or drop me a WhatsApp voice notes. You could also send an SMS to the WhatsApp number so I can read them. I'll give you the WhatsApp number first and then other numbers that you can call me with live on the show. So you can send an SMS or WhatsApp voice notes, WhatsApp message to 0905 948 1021. That is 0905 948 1021. Or you could also call me up live on the show. Call me up on 081 174 31021. That is 081 174 31021. The other number to call is 0705 079 1021. That is 0705 079 1021. Also find the post of this particular conversation on Facebook at Super FM 93.3. Drop a comment under that post or drop a comment under the live video because we're live, baby. We're live on Facebook. So follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Super FM, PH Super FM 93.3, and be a part of the conversation. Good. So I'm going to the phone lines right now. Here's the topic one more time. Why do good kids make bad decisions and what can be done? Have you ever had to deal with something like this? Or you know somebody who had to? Share with us on the show today. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you join me. What's your name?
Okay, I'm Oliver.
Oliver, where are you calling me from?
From Echie.
Okay, Oliver, so talk to me. What do you think is the problem and what's the way out?
Well, the issue is almost everywhere.
Definitely.
We are in a world contending with light and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like it or not, as a bishop, as an apostle, and other things, there are people try to raise their kids in the right direction, the right way. But the same children, maybe they have been used to church, they have been used to praying, they have been used to fasting and all that.
Yeah.
But when they go out there, hear different things. Like, you have not met a man, you are 16, you have not known friendship. Wow, there's different views out there.
Okay.
And they lead to a point where they start contemplating. Does it mean that we are not doing it right? Up to this stage, I've not known this.
Okay, so maybe basically peer pressure outside the home.
Yeah. So and such practices, the children find it difficult in relating it back home. Maybe because of the relationship they also have with the parents.
Okay.
There are some parents that don't also have time for them and all that to know how they are faring.
Okay.
So before you know it, the pressure out there will be too much, and they just give in. And before you know it, the bad eggs have spoiled the good eggs.
Wow.
So the only way out, when a child who is supposed to be decent has already been found, with things not supposed to be found with.
Yeah.
You don't need to chase them away. Just draw them in love and give them the reasons why they shouldn't embark on such decisions. We have seen a case where a daughter is pregnant. Even the mother at home is not aware. It's
Right.
people out there who are telling the mother, look
at your daughter. Oh, she's
look
pregnant.
at your daughter. Yes. So
Wow.
before you know it, the child happens to be 4 months pregnant. This is happening every day. The way out is just bring them close and advise them, give them the reasons why they must speak to the religion that you believe is best for them.
Okay, then. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Just to quickly add before I get to the next call or the next comment, the reality of this, is quite difficult to deal with. Let's be realistic. He mentioned a daughter getting pregnant. I mean, just imagine you have plans for your kid, you have done everything, you give them everything, and that's it's not even the last thing you expect. It's something you don't expect at all. It's not on the shelf at all. Do you understand me? And then you're confronted with that. Some parents don't know how to deal with these things. They end up hating that child. In some cases, they hate the child. They don't want to hear anything. In fact, some families could even decide to, some parents could decide to not take care of her education anymore. They feel like, okay, you want to get pregnant, since you want to become a mother, just become a mother and go hustle. We're not put you in school anymore. We're not taking care of your education anymore. Since you decided to disgrace us this way, you decided to embarrass us this way, because they are heartbroken and disappointed. As much as we don't want these things to happen, these things happen. Maybe parents need to wake up to this reality sometimes. And then when it gets to that stage of a child's life, when they want to explore, they want to try alcohol, even as teenagers, and you have warned them severally not to get close to anything like this. You just look the other way and they're doing it. And as an adult, you know the consequences. You know the implication of what they are doing. They may not know, but they will find out with time. Like one of my mentors would say, experience is a hard teacher. So don't wait to learn from yours. Learn from other people's experience instead, he would say. Anyway, let me just get back to the phone lines right now. Why do good kids make bad decisions, and what can be done? How are parents supposed to handle the situation when their supposed good kids end up making bad choices, bad decisions? Talk to me. Good morning.
Finally. Good morning, Forrest. How are you?
Ken Billions, you don't be mad at me, right?
It's not at all.
It's good. It's good anyway. Good to hear from you.
I just joking, okay? In as much as I care for you, I didn't hear from you on
I don't
Friday.
believe you. I don't believe you.
No, I put it to you that I care for you. I didn't hear from you on Friday. I bothered. I was so bothered. Later on, I called you a line to confirm what happened as a caring person. You ignore my call.
And then you just build skyscraper for me in your chest since then. Since that Friday.
No, it's not so. It's very painful when you care about someone and you try to know whether the person is doing well. You ignore, and the person the phone I was using, I knew you have the phone in your hand. The call was coming. I was seeing it in my phone. You refused to answer, and they did not even bother to call back. No,
let me sing one Hollywood song for you. One Nollywood song.
Yeah, it's like this guy is not caring. See somebody I cared. I wanted to know what happened. Why?
Chai.
Sorry.
That Friday, lots of things happened. It's not what I can talk about on the radio, but so many things happened. And I'm sorry, it wasn't deliberate, right?
Okay. Anyway, I listened to your audio by the interview with the man.
Okay.
So for me, I believe that it cannot start training a child when he's already matured. You understand?
Definitely.
It's impossible. It will prove abortive. I believe it's a fault of parents in all ramifications, because I use myself as a reference point, okay? I knew family I came from. And the way they brought me up, even as I've traveled different continents, I don't smoke, Some people believe that when you go to this Western world...
Okay, so Ken Billions, you don't smoke because of the way your parents brought you up?
Yes, I'm coming.
Good, all right.
Because now, you will see that early morning, they wake you for prayer. You understand? And that has been a part of me, because that is how I was brought up. That is the foundation. In a situation, you see a pastor, you see the wife will go to market, you will buy a cloth showing the body of the daughter, the young girl, training her in that hand. What do you expect her to be?
Matters.
When they will go to party, you see all this party singing on holy this music. He will throw her children into the mist. What do you expect? So he's going to grow in that hand, believing that is the right thing. He will see a father will send his son to go and buy cigarettes. What do you expect from that son? So I believe the foundation matters. It cannot build a five-story building without a good foundation. It will definitely collapse.
Okay, 10 billion. So in a situation where, let's just assume that, you have done everything to bring up a child well, and then the child is doing, is going the other way entirely.
Now, how is it? In some situation, it happens, okay?
Yeah.
It happens, but some parents will see, okay, for example, as you rightly said, you will see a girl of 20 years, 25, because due to hardship or for their belief, you will see their daughter. A car is coming to Jeep, coming to drop her, and the mother will come and embrace her. He will bring gifts they bought for her because of to bring money to pay her students, because of how sick he is. They are sending their daughter to go and fetch money from a sort of people. Mailing well is not good. You understand? So sometimes the parents, I still believe the parents laid the foundation. You understand? So parents need to do more. They should forget about this material things. Moral life is very, very important. So thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ken Billions. You say it has to be the parents. They need to do the work. That's his opinion. It just has to be the parents, for Ken Billions. And parents need to do the work. Okay, Dan, I'd like to get more reaction from you. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show. What's your name, please?
Thank you very much. I am Civilian General, and I'm calling from LLM.
Welcome, Civilian General. Talk to me.
Thank you very much. I listened to the last caller, and it reminded me of a story being told by one woman in one of the national television some time ago. He said when she was a teacher, teaching nursery schools, he saw a small child, two small children at that age, not up to 5, 6 years. They were doing what they are not supposed to be doing in the classroom.
Okay.
And he didn't believe what she saw. She pretended to be writing. And look back again, they were still doing the same thing.
Wow.
Then she accosted them. And when she accosted them, do you hear what the young man said? He said, Auntie, this is exactly what my daddy used to do, my mommy, in the house. So there are so many things we do today as parents. We think we are in a jet age, that we are showing love. You come back before your children, you embrace your wife, you kiss her. The children are looking at you. At times you stay in the parlor with your wife, you be playing with her, thinking that the children, they don't know anything, that they are not grown. There's nothing you do, especially when you have to train with children. There must be secrecy in so many things you do. But today, we believe that, yes, it's part of life, that you want to show that so when your child grows up, you know how to love people. It is wrong education. It is wrong teaching. You cannot be playing with your wife. You cannot be romancing or even kissing your wife in the presence of children, thinking that these children they don't know anything.
Okay, I think this has to be another topic for another day. Do I get your opinion?
No,
I get your point.
okay,
So just continue.
No, what I'm saying
like
is that
I get you, like PDA in front of the kids, displaying affection.
And when they go out, they want to practice it. Okay. And maybe in the course of practicing it, they get pregnant. And then we come back to say, I did not train my child this way. Who told you did not train her this way? Because she didn't know what she was doing. Because she saw you do it, and now she wants to go and practice exactly what. So most of this is mistake. Like the last person who called. I know at the age I was. Before I can even have the boldness to bring woman into my family house, we can never do it in the presence of my mother or my father. Who give you the eye? Even at my age, at that time, you dare not do it because they will chase you away. But today, most of our brothers, they bring, even when the boyfriend or the daughter come, they give him seat to sit and wait for their daughter to come. So
I'm laughing because that cannot even be my mom. I'm just laughing right now.
So many things are happening today that some out of. If I go into telling you this, I know a brother who told me that I should help him to thank her daughter. That the daughter gave him 200 naira to buy a recharge card. And then I looked at the daughter, looked at myself. I didn't know how to thank her because the daughter is jobless. She's doing nothing. And the man did not care how the daughter, who is giving him 200 naira to buy a recharge card for his phone, how did she get the money? He doesn't care. But for him now, he's grateful that the daughter, they want him to run out.
That the daughter did something for him.
Yes, that's the way he was looking at it.
Even though he's not sure how she was able to afford that.
Yes. So what I'm saying here that if we parents, we know that today the economy has pushed so many parents now to run away from their responsibilities towards their children. But we must go back to the drawing board. Do our job the way our own parents did theirs. Because during their own time, we are wearing the same morality we see everywhere now. Not as much as we are seeing it now. But now we all put our hands all pursuing work, and our children are finishing. And by the time eventually they get pregnant and all this, we say, no, you didn't train her that way. Who told you did not train her that way? Because when you close your eyes, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Whatever that happens from that something, you should be able to accept it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. Very insightful comments and contributions on the show this morning. To every parent who's listening to this program, please don't just listen. Learn something. Take something. In fact, take a whole lot from the program this morning and be more careful with the kids. Be more vigilant. Be more homely with the kids. All right. Spend time with these children. Be more observant. How can a child be pregnant and the mother in the house has no idea? It has to be neighbors. It has to be outsiders who call her attention, to what your child is doing or what has happened to your child. And you live with this child every day. It's even so bad that some parents will still come out to defend their children, telling you, no, my child cannot. My child would never find. I know you're the parents, and the child is actually guilty at the end of the day. But they have no idea. They don't know their children are already getting involved in stuff like this. Oh, well, I understand parents get quite busy. We need to make money for the family and all of that. But we still need to find time. Parents should never lose that touch, that thing that makes them parents, between them and their kids. They should never lose that touch that they should have with the kids. I'd like us to get to some WhatsApp messages. And if I'm able to take more calls, I don't mind. But I do have to go for a commercial break at exactly 11:56. So let's go to the WhatsApp messages. Society and friends put pressure on some kids. But when we find out as parents, the best way to help them out is by correcting them with love, not by shouting or beating. From Mommy B. Thank you, Mommy B. And why do good kids make bad decisions? Peer group pressure, experimental phase, in brackets, adventure. These major factors are common and natural amongst humans, especially at the teenage stage. Now, some of them do have a retractable sense that brings them back to normal, while some don't have the ability to retrace their path. So they end up being lost in the bad side of the world. Solution 1, Introducing them to God at an early stage enables them to be able to trace their way back. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should grow, and when he's grown, he will not depart from it. 2, parents should always keep watch of what their children do in or out. They can curb them at some rate. Regards, Aeropex. Thank you so much, Aeropex, and thanks to everybody who's been a part of the show today. I'm so sorry, I really can't take any more calls, but then for parents and would-be parents, it's a lot of responsibility to be a parent. Don't give birth to kids that you cannot take care of. If you have kids, make plans for them and be there for your children, because our society today is a product of all of the families that we have in our society. The society is a product of the family, and the family is very vital. Please, God help us. Amen. All right, do keep it locked here on Super FM 93.3. I'm going for a commercial break right now, and the world news comes up at 12.
Check 1, 2.
It's Super FM. Stay tuned.
The wait is over. The heat is on. Time to rise up. Can you keep up? It's a game of fame, love, deceit, and betrayal. Plus cameras 24/7. You either go home